Redditors who have died and been resuscitated. What do you remember seeing? Story 1. When I was 8 years old, I learned to repair small engines. My father had an old, non-functional Briggs & Stratton flathead engine and a lawnmower without an engine or blades. He tasked me with getting the engine running and mounting it on the mower. Excited, I worked on it after school and got it running by bedtime. The next day, my sister and I mounted it on the mower and took turns riding it around. A few weeks later, while riding with my older sister, my shoelace got caught in the rear axle, pulling me down. The mower, moving slowly, dragged me until my sister stopped and reversed, causing the chain and sprocket to catch the lower right side of my back. This tore open my skin, damaged my large and small intestines, collapsed my right lung, broke my spine in 2 places, and destroyed my right kidney. I felt the mower roll over me. Then everything went black. No sight, movement, speech, or pain, just darkness. After my father restarted my heart, I remember intense pain, shortness of breath, and feeling what I believe was my stomach in my hand, along with part of my back. In the ambulance, everything went black again, but this time, I felt a sharp jolt when the doctor shocked me, and I was back in my body. Minutes later, I was on an operating table surrounded by strangers in white, panicking. Then, I found myself standing next to my grandmother, who had died when I was 3. She told me she was my Nana, and reassured me as we watched the doctors shock my heart with paddles. My time of death was called at 6:06 p.m. Suddenly, I woke up, stitched and stapled. My parents told me I had died 3 times. First for 5 minutes, then for about 12 minutes, and the last time, astonishingly, for 20 minutes. My parents insisted the doctors keep trying to revive me, despite being told there was a 98% chance of brain death. Now, at 25, I'm healthier than ever and can walk normally. Years later, I attempted suicide by hanging myself with an extension cord. I had no pulse when the police arrived, though it's unclear how long I was out. I was revived in the ambulance, but remained in a coma for just under 2 weeks. All I recall is a sensation like general anesthesia after jumping off the table. For the 5 seconds before everything went black, I felt total panic and regret for my decision. Then, it was complete nothingness, like a deep, dreamless sleep. Waking from the coma felt like surfacing from a pool after diving too deep, still in the same panic as when I jumped, as if I'd only blinked instead of being unconscious for weeks. To answer the question, I remember nothing significant, just a deep, dreamless void. Perhaps if I'd regained consciousness immediately after being revived, I'd recall something more vivid, but nothingness is all I can offer. Story 2. My sister was shot while walking her dogs in our small Alaskan town. The bullet ricocheted, perforating her intestines in 9 places. Despite having one of the best doctors in the northern region in our ER and a medevac flight to Anchorage miraculously available just minutes from takeoff, she bled out and died on the operating table. She knows this because she vividly recalls everything the surgeons said while she was clinically dead. Later, she described an extraordinary experience. She felt herself rising toward a brilliant light, free of pain, and compelled to move toward it. The light led to an incredible river, which she described with such joy that it convinced me endless radiant happiness is not just possible but inevitable. She played in a river of pure knowledge, where everything she ever wanted to know was within reach. As she played, she sensed figures on a distant shore, our family and animals, patiently waiting for her to finish and join them. Though reluctant to leave the river, She knew without being told that they would wait joyfully. Before reaching the shore, a being approached her, radiating pure, unconditional, exuberant love. She couldn't identify it, but described it as pulsating with love, outshining everything else. It told her she had to return, as it wasn't her time. Like a child, she protested. But I don't want to. She emphasized that being near this being was everything, completion, peace, and welcome. Leaving was unthinkable, yet refusing was equally impossible. Infused with purpose, she reluctantly returned to life. She's remarkable. Doctors patched her femoral artery, but warned the graft will likely fail, meaning she could die within minutes. Living with this looming threat should be terrifying, but for her, it's a promise of returning to that place. Every breath she takes is a heartbeat away from death, yet she's the most alive person I know. Story 3. These accounts of nothingness and lack of consciousness have me questioning my life. If there's truly nothing after death, and this is our only chance to experience, learn, and grow, I want my time here to mean something. I want to make an impact and improve the world before my time runs out. Then I realize I just spent 3 hours on Reddit. Story 4. I had a near-death experience when I was ejected from a car. When I regained consciousness, a man approached and told me everyone had survived. He was there before any paramedics arrived. The strangest part was the overwhelming sense of déjà vu I felt looking at him, as if I'd seen him before. It was an intense experience, possibly due to a head injury. From a religious perspective, I'd argue against the common Reddit stance of no God. If a higher power has a plan for you, including death as part of your life's journey, that same power might decide you're not meant to see beyond the veil of mortality yet. This could explain why many experience nothing during NDEs. They weren't meant to see more. I don't claim to have definitive answers or align with any specific religion. Instead, I embrace the unknown and consider infinite possibilities. There might be no God, or there might be one. No one can know for certain until they die permanently. Any answer could be correct, and those who claim certainty can't grasp the vastness of what we don't know. Story 5. My former football coach had a heart attack on the field and was dead for 15 minutes. When asked what it was like, he said he remembered nothing. No amnesia, just an absence of anything. He described it as the most peaceful moment of his life, like a blank slate where you build the world you inhabit. Story 6. During my NDE, I left my body and floated through the ICU ceiling, passing through walls before descending back into my body from below. When not observing the hospital, I saw a vast, dark space with pulsating colored flecks at the edges of shapes. I could see both the hospital and this dark world simultaneously. I'm unsure if it was a hallucination. Story 7. Almost a year ago, I attempted suicide by hanging myself with my dog's leash. I remember letting go of the leash and hanging for about a minute. I didn't have the strength to pull myself off the chair, so I was suffocating. Time seemed to slow, and I felt my heartbeat in my arms and legs, then fading. I described it in therapy as the great void. Pure nothingness, not even darkness, just an absence so complete it can't be called empty, as that implies it could be filled. It's indescribable, imperceptible. A near-death experience like mine feels like glimpsing the void without entering it. Just enough life remains to sense it, but not enough death to be consumed by it. My nosy neighbor saw me through a window, broke it, and cut me down within 10 minutes. I was unconscious for 3 days but fully recovered, completed inpatient and outpatient programs with youth services, and transformed my life. The fear of facing that void again haunts me, knowing I may one day lose to it. Story 8. When I was 15, my schizophrenic uncle stabbed me in the stomach with a steak knife. I remember panicking, lying on the floor, hyperventilating, and bleeding. I tried crawling from the basement to the 911 phone but was too weak, bleeding more with every move. As I passed out, I felt like I was leaving a dark room and moving into sunlight. Panic faded, replaced by pure satisfaction. I floated above a garden where every plant glowed, and an enormous, amorphous shape made of every color, including ones I'd never seen and can't describe, hovered above me. It felt familiar, like part of me, filling me with ecstasy and understanding. Then, a man resembling Dream from the Sandman comics, which I was obsessed with, approached me through the garden. He said I couldn't go home yet, as it wasn't my time. I cried but felt an understanding that I had to return, despite not wanting to. He had tears in his eyes, took my hand, and led me back to my body in an ambulance. My older brother had found me and called 911. 4 years later, while taking psilocybin mushrooms, I experienced a faint echo of that feeling, intimately connected to the universe, intuitively understanding all knowledge as if answering a divine question. It was indescribable, a shadow of my ND. Raised without religion and uninterested in organized spirituality, these vivid, otherworldly experiences convinced me there are dimensions beyond our current scientific grasp. It felt like pressing my face against a veil and peering through a hole into something unimaginable. People say it's just brain chemistry, but I struggle to take them seriously as they haven't experienced it. I challenge anyone to have such an experience and not question our scientific understanding of reality. Some believe science is nearing a complete, objective view of reality, merely tying up loose ends. My experience suggests the cosmos is far more mysterious than most acknowledge.